Welcome to One Shots, a Dum-Dums and Dice podcast where professional voiceover actors and improvisers tackle one-shot stories created in a variety of hit RPGs. I'm your host, DJ One Shot 2.0, and I'm here to welcome you to the Nightmare Before Squigmas, a journey into the orkish side of the 41st millennium using the Goblin Quest RPG. What happens when Dum-Dums play a group of Gretchin trying to save Squigmas and avenge the Red Gobbo? Nobody knows, 'cause it's One Shots, Goblin Quest Edition.
Where are you, Squigmas? Why can't I find you? Why have you gone away? Is what every grot will be singing. If you can't save Squigmas here and now. You have defeated Jake Scollington. You've taken his sleigh. You've murdered all his Cabalite warriors who fell off conveniently when you got enough successes in the last game. We currently have 3 grots and 1 coat. So the question before you is, who among you shall become the Red Gobbo? Of the 3 of you, we have Tiny Dim, stealth expert, great at camouflage, has a bone shiv made of his own shoulder. Two Legs Johnson, currently no legs available, but still full of fury and currently at the helm. And of course, Jerry, our doctor, who, in attempting to heal, broke many Hippocratic oaths and instead caused tremendous pain.
Is it Hip-Orc-Cratic oaths?
It's right there. It was right there, and I missed it. Just drove right by. Thank you for saving that joke, Ryan.
You're welcome.
I can't give you inspiration in this game, but know that you've got spiritual inspiration. It will not affect any dice rolls. So, the 3 of you are standing around the Red Gobbo's hat and cloak. We are in Act 3 of our adventure, which means that we have a few things to handle, but the first one is who shall become the Red Gobbo. And I want to see if there's roles associated with this first, and then I can tell you what happens next.
Well, Tiny Dim wants the prettiest dressed for Squigmas, and what is prettier than the Red Gobbo's cape? So...
Well, I think here's the thing we gotta think about, friends. All right, obviously, I'm a war hero. I don't want this. I'm not a stand-up, paint myself red, point myself out kind of guy. We got the 2 of you. One of you's gonna have to be the Gobbo. We got you, Tiny Dim. Normally you're pretty sneaky. You know you like to hide, and the Gobbo can't really hide because the Gobbo's got to be out there giving presents and being fancy. Well, that's an option. Jerry? I mean, you're Jerry. So, like, either you want this...
Sure. Hey, you know, whatever's going to be the friendliest that's going to get us all to get along. Like, I want to make sure everybody's happy. And this decision is a big decision that we can make together amongst ourselves. And Jerry goes on being very bad at
That's perfect. I want the prettiest dress. I don't care about hiding. I want the prettiest dress.
All right, you have it, because I don't want to hear Jerry talk anymore. Just take it. Jerry's the worst.
What?
And Tiny Dim just like runs full tilt towards that robe, throws it over their shoulders, and swirls around.
Like an anime princess?
Like, exactly like an anime princess, and has never felt prettier in their entire short life.
All right. Well, we'll see how short that life actually is. I need you to roll me a check there, Tiny Dim, to see if your tiny grot mind can withstand the magic of the Red Gobbo. So you're really excited about this dress. So you get one dice for just having a check. You get 1 dice for being really excited about having the prettiest dress and having achieved a goal.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that there's much else we can make a case for here.
No. I would agree.
All right.
Hey, that's a 6 and a 3.
6 and a 3. Excellent. So you are immediately flooded with like a Charles Xavier wearing Cerebro image of grots and people around the galaxy and their wants and needs. And it is some galaxy mind stuff. You are just that meme. Your head is exploding.
Mm-hmm.
It is difficult. You know, you have to struggle with it. I'll tell you something bad that happens in a moment. But with your success, it doesn't make your head explode. So that's great. All of these images wash over you, and you see some Christmas wishes from around the 40K universe. So, Ryan, what does Rabute Gilliman want for Squigmas?
Rabute Gilliman wants a stable empire, just to bring the Imperium back from the brink to the point of relative stability. And deep, deep in his heart, he would like enough power to be able to bring an end to the Adeptus Ministorum, just to destroy the Imperial Church so that he no longer has to watch this abomination against his father's wishes and desires overtaking this collapsing empire.
That's sweet. He's not going to get that for Squigmas. Del.
Yeah, Tiny Dim is like, nope.
Del, what does Abaddon the Despoiler want for Christmas?
Oh, Abaddon the Despoiler would like a billion, million, zillion weapons from Vashtor, but not have to pay anything for it. Free. Just free weapons forever from Vashtor. That's what Abaddon would like. Please and thank you.
Tiny Dim?
No.
The spoiler's not a Gretchin. The spoiler's not a part of Squigmas.
Ryan, what does Fabius
the
Bile
spoiler.
want for Squigmas?
Fabius Bile would like to finally make a perfect new man, a perfect, primogenitor creation that'll be able to rise up and take over the galaxy safely, slaughtering all other species and guaranteeing humanity's future.
Who? I don't even know who that is. No.
And finally, as all of these visions fade away, there remain only a few that drift forward, just briefly as the larger world falls away. Laura, what does Eli Sharp want for Squigmas?
Eli just wants to, he wants to go back in time like 10 years, just at the prime of his time as Master of Arms, and to never have gone to that wretched planet.
This guy's a dork. No.
And
Yeah. Morgan, Del, what does Morgan want for Squigmas?
Morgan wants to be back on the ship and far away from the planet they are currently on, and wants respect.
No respect for the humans. No.
Ryan, what does Atticus want for Squigmas?
Atticus wants to kill something. In the name of the Emperor. Just kill something.
Long as it's not a grat.
And finally, Ryan, what does Valentyne want for Squigmas?
Absolutely nothing, because he's been given everything he needs by the Emperor.
Excellent.
Easy, done. Nothing.
Tiny Dim, you're really killing it as the Red Gobbo. So this is going extraordinarily well. And now, having cleared all these clowns out of your head, so you can focus on the people who really matter, you can see very clearly in your mind the war camp. You can see very clearly Grottville and all the Gretchins there, who and their wants and their desires. And you know you've got a holdful presence. And honestly, you've got enough presence in there and enough understanding, presence of mind, if you will, to know what all of the orcs in the camp want too. You can bring Squigmas on a scale unheard of, in strict defiance of de Granche's will. All you need to do is just turn the sleigh around, drive back. Oh, but there's that something bad you rolled. So a railgun shot tears through the side of the sleigh as the entire thing rocks, and you see coming out of the darkness a bunch of searchlights high, those LED headlamps on cars that are extraordinarily, it's like that level of LED as the forms of several Tau hammerheads begin to sort of move through the darkness toward you, small drones buzzing around them. I need you all to roll to see if you can stay on board the ship as a Tau force descends upon you. So I'll take arguments for how you managed to stay on deck. However, I think Jerry's going to have a particularly tough time given that you're currently standing in all that salve and teeth that unfortunately killed Jake Scollington. Mm-hmm. So let's get some rolls here, shall we?
All right. Tiny Dim is wearing the prettiest dress and has really embraced this. So that's going to be an extra die there. And I would argue because they have been a pet for an orc, they're used to being kind of like thrown around and like riding on
You've
stuff
ridden in some trunks.
Yeah. So they have really good balance.
Great. Love that.
Two Legs Johnson has one die just for trying to do this, and I would argue a second one because with no functional legs, Two Leg Johnson has been having to hold onto the grating of the floor to move around, so he's already gripping.
I buy that.
All right, and I'd say Jerry gets one. Jerry gets the second one. I'm seeing because Jerry just wants to be with friends for Squigmas, and he feels like he's accomplished it. We're all friends here. He thinks as he is grappling onto Two Legs Johnson to try and stay here. And that is the way that he's going to try to stay on.
Okay. Del, I'm going to give you a -1 to your rolls because of the salve that you're still covered in.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, let's do this. Let's start with the Red Gobbo, and then we'll work to the two people who are entangled in each other.
Excellent. Oh, baby. So we got a success, we got something bad, and we got an injury.
You see it all so clearly, Tiny Dim. You see how you can do it. You can save them all. You can bring the Squigmas joy to all, which is just you have your arms open, your eyes shut, just thinking about how this pretty dress is going to deliver on all those promises.
Just mentally batting away all of the wishes from anyone who is not
all
their
the named
species.
characters we know. It's fine, just batting them away, and you just feel light, you feel airy, which is because that railgun shot went straight through your chest and has separated most of your body from it. What is your final thought as the hat and cloak fall to the deck?
At least I looked pretty.
And with that, the Red Gobbo dies yet again. All right, Two Legs Johnson and Jerry. Let's go with Jerry. No, let's go with Two Legs Johnson first, because if Two Legs Johnson lets go, then Jerry is also toast. So let's see what happens. There is something bad on deck, which is that the Red Gobbo is dead, but that does mean a -1, Ryan, to your rolls here.
That does mean the -1. Yep. So I got something good and an injury. So I'm going to say I lose my grip, die, and fall off the ship. But the something good is because you clung on to me, Jerry, you get to stay hanging on the ship. You get the +1 to your roll because gripping onto him, you got a grip. And then he's like, no, not my legs. Jerry, you're the worst. And he's just gone.
Oh.
Yeah, as you reach for him, as he's sliding away, you accidentally get your fingers stuck in the grate. So Del will take away your -1, given that something good has happened, as Two Legs Johnson also falls to his death. Jerry, it's all up to you.
Right. Was it 2 dice or 3 dice? Because I think Two Legs Johnson is gone, which was one of my
I was
dice.
going to say, yeah, you don't have friends anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
2 dice.
Just 2 dice? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I rolled 2 2s. So it's all coming apart at the seams. It's scrabbling to stay on. Put fingers in a grate, the fingers pop off. It's slimy and lonely and just flung out into the air. And as Jerry
You just go after your friends.
Yeah, going after their friends. Jerry's last thoughts sailing down to the ground is just, did Jerry do a good job? And then splat.
On two legs. Johnson's also splat. Unfortunately for you Grots, you're just moments too late to be saved by the members of your clutch who are close behind you, reaching for you desperately as these Tau ships fly in. You can hear over an impeccably well-built megaphone because only one army in Warhammer has technology that functionally works these days that they build themselves. So unlike all the scratchety nonsense we do with the Imperium, you just hear over an incredibly crystal clear broadcast, just, attention, Gretchins, we understand that you are attempting to do something with the psycho powers afforded by that cloak. I need you to understand, we need this for the greater good. We can bring joy and merriment across the galaxy with the power of the Red Goblin, but only if you do not stand in our way. If any of you pick up the cloak, we will destroy you until we have it. Just think of the greater good. The greater good, as they continue to just pummel the ship with blasts. As Gretchins from the other clutches arrive, you don't care what these Tau folks have to say. You gotta save Squigmas. So, Del, who arrives from clutch Bonk.
Walking out from amongst the rubbles of the falling bodies, the belt with the bell on it just sails out of the air, having unraveled from Jerry, and then lands over the shoulders of Bosgor. Bosgor is a grot who is rather big, a big, dumb grot who is good at carrying ammo and good at getting things off of high places comparatively to other grots. And Bosgor is just not really understanding that it's coming over the loudspeakers. It's just, what?
Amazing. Unfazed. Over what? Laura, who arrives from Clutch Jangle?
A small grot with one very buff arm reaches with these just sausage fingers to pull the wreath off and put it around their neck, and they are just reveling in everything going on because they love anything incendiary. So explosions are their specialty. They're a bomb pilot, but they really want fireworks for Squigmas. And this is kind of like a fireworks party just for them.
Aww.
What's the name?
Caldera.
Nice. And finally, arriving from Hot Chocolate. Ryan, who we got?
Landing on the ship on all fours is Blitzen, a Gobbo who was a pet to the orcs. And Blitzen runs forward on all fours going, ooh, bork. And he's just going to slide himself forwards and pull on the dress backwards. So the top half of him is out the bottom of the dress. It's big
like
and frilly around his head. Yeah. Just lands and goes, ooh, bork. I'm a pet. And at that point he poops because his skill is pooping. So that's what he's good at.
Well, it is the poop deck, right? So this tracks.
It is
excellent.
now.
So the three of you have a brief moment before you have to repel the Tau force that is accosting you. One of you has to pick up the cloak of the Red Gobbo, who's going to become our Red Gobbo.
Blitzen's just going to run forwards and slide into that cloak, too. He just wears everything because he's used to all the stuff getting cast off from his master, having to bring it back.
Okay, so similar to our dearly departed friend, Tiny Dim, I need a roll. That said...
Caldera.
Yeah, but Tiny Dim was the Red Gobbo, and then died. So
Tiny Dim's dead, though, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying that Ryan has to roll a mental check to survive because I made you roll one.
Oh, okay.
So, let's. I'm gonna say a dice for doing a thing.
Yep.
I will give you a dice for. I think this weird pet understanding you have means that weirdly you would be able to accept a wave of things washing over you because you wouldn't be trying to intellectually engage with it. And I'll give you one for fearing reprisal if you don't collect this stuff. So it's more important you collect the stuff than it is that you think. Anything else you want to make a case for there, Ryan?
I mean, I have been pooping, so knowing my skill is pooping, I would argue I might carry over.
Sure, great, fine. You feel good. You're comfortable. You're good. So fine.
He's the Red Gobbo, fueled with brown confidence.
Yep.
I love it.
Can't stop it. Won't stop it. All right, let's go.
Okay, and he's going to use all of his luck. He's going to poop his lucky poop. Like he's been holding a poop in for a long time that he was like going to use on a special occasion. So he like gets into the coat and he's worried he's losing control and he's like, hey, what do I know? What do I know? How do I find myself? And I'm getting assaulted by so many images from my new master coat. Ooh, I should just let it out. Okay, it's time. And he just poops his lucky poop. Because the last arrow would have killed him. Oh, there we go. All right. One good thing, two bad things, and an injury.
Okay. The good thing is you gain the powers of the Red Gobbo. And I think briefly you kind of have a moment of clarity where you see all the advantages that this ship has to offer in defense against the tower. There are a bunch of weapons on the deck. There are the actual ship's guns, as well as the scythes. So you're able to communicate that to your compatriots. There's just kind of the something good is you all collectively realize the weapons you've got, which I think for Bosgor will be a particularly nice thing because you've got something to plug ammo into. Mm-hmm. The something bad. Yeah, two something bad, Ryan, or one something bad?
Correct. Two of them.
Two something bad. Okay, I'm going to say the ship is badly damaged by the continued assault of the Tau because you weren't able to start repelling it yet. So ship is in bad shape and starting to lose altitude. So if you're going to save Squigmas, you gotta sort this right quick. And the other something bad is the Tau drones begin to reach the ship. So they're just kind of swarming around, firing at you from above. So an additional threat there. It also means -2 is going forward. Good luck, whoever's next.
I was going to say, there's also a +1 going forward, though, for the something good. So it's just a -1.
So just a -1. Great. Good call. And your injury, Ryan, what injures Blitzen?
I get shot by one of the drones. I'm just there being like, okay, so I'm the Red Gobbo, bork. Ooh, I was a bad Blitzen, gotta do better. Bork.
Great. All right.
Because regular dogs bark, but he borks.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. I'm with you. Okay, great. So that's Blitzen. Bosgor and Caldera, you have the ships in the distance and you have drones sort of circling around you. How do you want to repel this attack?
Hey, and this is just a typical day in the life for Bosgor. It's like, pick up ammo box, put the ammo in the gun, fire the gun. So Bosgor's just one step at a time. Pick up big box, put it in the gun, point the gun out at the enemies.
Shooty.
Shoot gun. Yep.
Amazing. And Caldera, how about you?
I think because they're a bomb pilot, they're used to flying with things exploding around. So it's a combination of being able to maneuver kind of between incoming shots and using the propulsion from whatever explosions are hitting the ship to guide the ship where they want to go.
Will you guide the sleigh tonight? All right, so you're gonna fly it. Bosgor's gonna shoot, and Blitzen, what are you gonna do?
Blitzen is going to run down and check on the presents. Because how are the presents doing? Is there a magic Gobbo bag? He knows he's just got to make sure it's okay because there's holes in this ship. If the presents are gone, what does he do as the Gobbo?
All right, so we've got 2 on repel and 1 on save Squigmas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Okay. Let's do it. Bosgor, let's start with you, please. Right. So
1 for doing a thing.
1 for doing a thing. We have a -1 floating around here. Okay. But yeah, 1 for doing a thing. 1 for this is your job.
That's my job as the ammo rent. 1
for being big, which means you're actually like better sized for using Drakari weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other?
This is gonna be my long pitch, but who knows how long Bosgor will be here. But what Bosgor wanted for Squigmas was bubbles. And I feel like the Tau stuff is very round and very shiny. And from a distance, maybe it's just like popping bubbles out there.
Yeah, I would say the shield technology definitely looks like bubbles at distance. So
there you go.
Yeah, just pop those bubbles.
So he's getting just what he wanted. All right, here we go.
All right, yep.
And I guess, oh man, yeah, this will not be good if I let it be. So it's like he shot out there, and a lot of them went wide. So he's just like, and then cracks off a tooth and puts it under the corner of the gun to push it up a tiny bit. And like, okay, then we're gonna try another. Now that the trajectory has been fixed. And I rolled a 6, a 5, and 2 1s.
All right, cool. So Bosgor, you've lined it up perfectly. You begin shooting, and just like you always hoped would happen at Squigmas, you see the bubbles. You see the bubbles out there, and they're beautiful, they're majestic, and the bubbles start to pop, and that makes you mad. So you just keep pointing the bubble pointer at the other bubbles, and the bubbles just keep popping and bursting into flame and explosions. And it's very much one of those, like, you're just like, you blow up, you hit one of the hammerhead tanks, it bursts into flame and kind of drifts sideways into another one, which explodes. And you're lighting it up. But of course, you're not used to firing Drakari weapons. No. You're used to like orkish weapons that are held together by your own psychic might. So the gun is just getting hotter and hotter and hotter in your hands. And as the last of the 3 hammerhead tanks sinks flaming to the ground, the gun overheats. What are Bosgor's last words?
Bosgor is holding on, looking down at his tiny little hands, which are now like melting onto the sides of the gun. He's like, "Oh, that doesn't normally happen."
It truly was a strange day for Bosgor.
It really was. Aww.
So Bosgor's blown apart. The bell belt bounces to the ground. And I believe, Del, you've just got one left in your clutch?
I have 2 left.
2 left. Incredible. So we'll find out who drops in a second. But first, we got to see how Caldera does on the driving. Caldera, you are seeing fireworks. So that definitely means you're getting a dice for that, because it's a Squigmas miracle as the Tau ships go up in flames. So we've got
bomb pilot is their job.
Yep. So 1 for doing a thing, 1 for bomb pilot, 1 for fireworks,
and then 1 for working with incendiaries.
Yes,
as their ship is currently an incendiary object.
Yeah, well, I'll buy that.
I would argue. All right. Hey, 2 5s, a 4, and a 3.
All right. 2 successes. So you managed to turn the ship against the sort of turn it around as the engines continue to sputter and die. In doing so, you swing the scythe blades across some of the drones, knocking them aside. A few of them begin to sputter and fall out of the air as their command tanks go down. The something good, I think, is that the drones break. The something bad is that the engines are 100% failing. So this is literally, you're driving back towards de Granch's fortress, but it's on a down slope. And the 1 and the 2 cancel each other, or the -1 and the +1 cancel each other out. Do you yell anything as you fly through the explosions? Like, I feel like this is an ideal flight for Caldera.
It's just cackling. This is what they're meant to do. It's all the things they're good at. They got their one arm is like really holding that whatever, I don't know, joystick whatever they're using to fly.
Look, a grot with one leg got you the joystick, and a grot with one giant arm is going to fly it. You know?
Hell yeah.
We got everything we need. Amazing. So the sleigh turns back around and begins flying back home towards the fortress. Meanwhile, below decks, the Red Gobbo, Blitzen, you have arrived to the toys and the packages and everything else. You find that everything is here, but you're going to have to sort it real quick, because if you're going to deliver these things, you got to make sure that they only go to the right people on the list. It's like a compulsion you can feel the coat forcing on you. So Blitzen, how do you want to prepare for this night of nights to deliver all of these packages on Squigmas?
All right, I got to get this done, which means I got to do it in the right order. So just like how I got to line up what I eat to make sure that I poop the right poops all in a row when the time is right, I got to line these presents up so that they'll fall out of this bag. This bag can poop presents just like I poop poops, and in the end, everybody gets what they need, you know? Got to feel some real speed here.
So he would like to set up the intestine that is the present bag to poop the poops out in the same way that he would poop the poops out in perfect order.
Yep, I can't stop this. This is fine. So one to do it. So we're gonna give you one to do it. One because you're the Red Gobbo, so you're better at Red Gobbo related things because you're wearing the cloak and the hat. One because you are good at pooping. Mm-hmm. Are there any die I'm missing here?
One because I tried a thing. So 3 dice total.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that sounds right to me. So he's just looking at all the presents and thinking about poops and looking at the size of the bag to try to figure out the intestine. And then he's like, okay, so I got to start with this poop. And he takes a bag and he opens it up and he just jams it in. he's right now he's reverse pooping so he can correct poop later as the Gobbo.
Says, understood. All right.
It's Squigmas, and you know what Squigs are known for? Pooping.
He's just dice. So he aspires to be
suppository miracle.
It's like putting a meal back in.
All right, that's a 6 and 2 injuries.
So Blitzen, you just enter the zone. This is exactly like this is what you were built to do. You're scrabbling, you're packing those toys in incorrectly. What you don't notice is just the blood that's gushing out of your wound, and you're just working so quick. You're just fully in the zone. You're not noticing all that green blood just pouring out of you, and you stand back, have completed this, looking at a perfectly packed bag, and you realize it's getting dim, it's getting dark. And your vision is blurring. You realize that you've been working so hard. You've literally worked yourself to death. What are Blitzen's final thoughts as he collapses?
Blitzen's final thoughts as he looks down at the last gift is like,
maybe it's time for one for me.
And he just opens up the gift and he sees 2 sticks that have been broken off, and they're crudely broken with no leaves. They're just a couple of branches. So they look like antlers, and they're on a headband. And he puts it on. And he drops his coat, and he just looks around the room and says, I'm a good boy. And he collapses and dies wearing antlers.
Now he can bork to gork and mork. Okay, so Blitzen is down. Bosgar is down. Caldera is flying. Ryan, I know you're out of Gretchin, so if you want to go to that sheet, grab a new one or make up your own.
Nah, give me the one Dell doesn't use.
All right.
Incredible. All right, Del, with hot chocolate having fully died in the service of the dream of the Red Gobbo, 2 Gretchins managed to land. The hot chocolate rocket explodes under one of the remaining drones' fire, but the bonk rocket crashes into the ship itself, spilling out to Gobbos. So Del, who are you and who is Ryan?
All right, so it's spilling out. Two grots fall out, and to the upper decks is my grot, Scraunch Bonk. And Scraunch Bonk, it just rolls onto the deck and is looking around at the ship, and it's like, oh, well, man, this place is real beat up. I gotta help. because Scraunch is part of the repair crew on ships. So Scraunch is running to the front of where the controls of the ship are to try and help with that. And Scraunch is really good at hitting things and repairing them. And his Christmas wish is to get someone else to take the timeshare that he unfortunately has. But bouncing off from the rocket and falling below decks towards where the bag of presents is the grot known as Noelle. And Noelle is excitable and has big hands. And she's good at forgetting what she's carrying. And her Christmas wish is gloves that fit her. She usually carries ammo. And that's who Ryan is.
Well, if I know anything, she says, waving huge hands next to her face, I know what I gotta carry. And she puts on the Red Gobbo's coat. And I think I have to roll just to not die, so we can try that shit on for size.
Ryan, I'm going to give you an extra dice for this, though, because I think, the coat knows who's putting it on. The coat knows what's up. And as a result, as you put it on, your hands slip into just Red Gobbo gloves that are just so cozy. So
Gobbo gloves. She also forgets what she's carrying, so I don't think she would just have put it on and been like, I don't know what these visions are about. I'm doing great. And then what else does she have, Del? What are the other things on her character sheet?
She has big hands and is excitable and is an ammo runt.
Okay. I'd give you one for excitable because the images washing over you aren't terrifying you. They're just delightful little surprises. Just Leslie Noping it. Like, no, this isn't eldritch horror. This is just nice things I get to see.
Cool.
I would argue the forgetfulness helps too because you don't track the burden of this knowledge.
So dice for forgetfulness. And I would say one more for if she's picking up the bag at the same time because it's really just ammo. She's got to fire out at people with all the gifts.
Yeah, I'd buy that. Sure.
That's true.
All right, let's watch this lady die in one die roll.
We're ready.
Oh, I fucking called it. I'm going to let it play out anyways. Fuck her. She dies immediately. She puts on the Gobbo coat and she's like, this is going to be great, guys. I can't wait. I'm going to be such a great Gobbo. Wait, where am I? Huh? And she looks back and the coat has already fallen off and the present's there and she fell out the back of the ship. So she's dying. But she got 3 successes and a good thing happened that are passed on to the party in general.
Oh my God.
Amazing. Caldera, Scraunch Bonk.
Yeah.
Let's get your roll to see how well you're piloting this.
All right. Get one. And then I'm a part of the repair crew, and I'm good at repair hitting. So Scraunch just walks right up and is like, yeah, I know how to do this. And then takes a deep breath, and then one tiny little grot leg hits against it. That's how we're going to fix it.
Amazing. Del, I'm going to give you an additional dice on your standard pool because Caldera is successfully flying the ship right now, which produces...
to fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. We're going with this. We got a 6, a 5, a 5, and a 3.
Hot damn.
Yep, told you that I'm good at repairing things.
Amazing. So as the sleigh slowly kind of like burning up, pieces falling off of it, approaches the massive kind of structure of de Granch's fortress, with of course Grotville just beyond it, the airfield still alight with the massive explosion caused mere minutes ago in game time by our dear sweet Fragtooth. You can see the lights, you can see the big Orktivist pole, and in the distance you can see the little torches burning and the blinking Squigmas lights of Clork Griswold's house that are overly bright because he put too much on them, like the movie he's based on. And you let those lights guide you as the ship kind of careens down towards Grotville. Scraunch and Caldera, you realize in a moment of horror and panic that neither of you knows where the presents are or where the Red Gobbo cloak is or anything else. And it seems like all of your work has been for naught. You brought the sleigh home, but without the Red Gobbo, there can be no Squigmas. And the most wonderful thing occurs as you begin your final descent, clipping the top of DeGranch's tower. You look out over the sides and you see just a rain of presents falling from the sky as a single Gobbo, the first grot fall of Noel, just falling, screaming out of the back of the ship with the bag, which is just careening around, tossing presents in every direction.
One might say pooping presents in every
direction.
In a specific
and yet,
order.
Packed so beautifully by Blitzen that they are falling in exactly the right order around Grotville. You soar over top of Grotville as the Gretchins raise their hands to the sky, getting the presents for the Grots who did good, and just daggers and grenades for the ones who were naughty, as is the way of Squigmas. Squigmas comes to Grotville, and you hear tiny cries of celebration and joy as the sleigh overshoots Grotville and crashes in a fiery explosion into the ground beyond, sending up a massive firework display, if you will. Sending festive joy in all directions as Squigmas, happens the way Squigmas always does, with a little bit of heart and a whole lot of Gretchin blood. And as the sleigh burns and the Grots celebrate, DeGranch, who did not like Squigmas at all, stalks forward from his tower, his massive orkish arms carrying a chainsaw chopper in one hand, a gun in the other, and he says, "Oh, I will bring Squigmas to one and all." And he raises his arms and lets out a mighty wah. And then he feels something strange that he hadn't before. Something light on his arms, soft on his shoulders, with a little bit of trim over those giant orkish muscle boulders. And he looks to the left and he looks to the right. And to his shock, he sees not green, but red that night. And as the cap lands upon his orkish head, he realizes that he doesn't at all wish Squigmas dead. Instead, he looks to the skies with a smile and says, "Why, I've been to Red Gobbo all the while." He doesn't know it's a lie, and that matters not, because Squigmas was saved due to the work of some Grots. Happy Squigmas to all, and to all a Grot night.
And that's when Blitzen's corpse hits the ground and explodes into gore right behind the war boss.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay, Tom!
Our Nightmare Before Squigmas Goblin Quest adventure features GM Tom McGee, along with players Ryan LaPlante, Laura Hamstra, and Del Borovic. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and the One Shots logo was created by Decapitated Markers at Decapitated Marker, that's MRKR, on X. This show's theme music is Gothic Trip with Thunder Horse by Damiano Baldoni, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum-Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. I'm DJ One Shot 2.0. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button and show your love to One Shots. Blah, 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 blah.
Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: Christopher Little, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, Schrodinger's Pepper, Guy Edwards, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Garbo Ape, Locke, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia De Los Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Remy Funky Head, Nomad, the wise paladin of the Badlands. Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky. Lael, Shulzari, Gus Schreider, The Long Family, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Alex Parr, Old Man Mojo, Dragonfly, The Body Barrelers, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumbdumbdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.